What's up, everybody? It's Carl, aka Carl Drum Tech. I'm here right now on my ride because, I don't know, I felt like doing it here. And it's been a while since I did any kind of videos in my car, ever since the old, live streaming days of Periscope. I wonder what ever happened to Periscope. I guess I just don't use it. I don't want to do live stuff. But anyways, what I want to talk about today is how to get good at drums in 3 easy steps. Now, when I think of these 3 easy steps, I mean, I just look at it as like when you want to get good at drums, whether you're teaching drums to somebody or you're learning drums, I think in order for you to get good, there's 3 hurdles you have to get over before you get to that more advanced level. And each level is kind of like a big hurdle, all right? And it's going to take a while for you to get over these. I mean, like if you actually if you thought of it as an actual physical hurdle, like they're big, tall hurdles. And if you've never jumped over these things before, it's gonna be really tough for you to kind of clear that hurdle without touching it, okay? But as soon as you get through the first one, then it's like the next hurdle is even higher. And then you have to work hard to get over that one. And then finally, the last one, it's really also very, very tough. But if you train and you take enough time to make it happen, I mean, to get better at like jumping, let's say, you will get over that last hurdle. And then from there, it's just, you can just kind of take off from there really into more advanced, like, advanced stuff or like hybrid rudiments, things like that, getting better with, like playing music and all that good stuff. So 3 easy steps to get good at drums. You guys ready? All right, here we go. So step number 1, all right, so the first hurdle is that you gotta make sure that you work on your one-handed exercises. So that's why we start with 8 on a hand, okay? So 8 on a hand is a really good basic exercise for you in terms of learning your fundamentals, and it's just like, it's very basic one-handed stuff. So all on one hand on the right and all on one hand on the left, all right? So you need to make sure that you work on your consistency, right? You need to work on your sound quality. You need to work on stroke types, right? So, with 8 on a hand, you have mostly legatos, but then you have, or upstrokes, and then you have a downstroke that you want to make sure you're doing before you switch over to the next hand, because you don't want to be like right? You want to be down and then switch to the next hand, all right? So stroke types, heights not so much, except if you're working on like dynamics. You can work on dynamics like fortissimo, mezzo forte, piano, and work on different heights for that. But then you get into bucks, right? So accent tap exercises. So that works on your 2 heights, right? So your accents and taps. So you're really working on one-handed exercises, just focusing on one hand, make sure that you got those down, and then you're working all kinds of different stuff like stroke types, heights, dynamics. Those are the things that you really want to make sure you get a handle on. And for beginners, that's gonna be really tough at first, right? So even if you're more novice level, you still want to take a lot of time in developing those skills so you can get to the next level. And the next level, okay, step number 2 in getting good at drums is your diddle rudiments, okay? So rolls. Rolls is one of the hardest things, I believe, in my opinion, there is to learn if you are learning drums for the first time. I could take somebody off the street and tell them, yo, a roll is very simply just right, right, left, left. That's basically it, right? Sounds simple, but if you told this to somebody who's never played drums before, they're never gonna be able to play a roll because they have to learn bounce. They have to learn the bounce stroke, right? They have to learn, like how to make the 2 notes of the diddle sound even. So, and then it's just so many nuances, so many different touches that you need to master and learn before you can even play a nice, clean, even roll. So it's not something that a beginner is just gonna pick up right away, and it's gonna take time to develop these skills. There's a lot of like trial and error. When I first started learning how to play rolls, I learned how to play bad rolls. Like it would just be like crushed, and the second note just sounds not as strong as the first note. All that stuff is typical of somebody who doesn't have a developed skill set yet, right? So it's very important that you work on your diddle exercises. So go back to one-handeds, right? So you're working on like let's say like a ABC, right? Exercise. Okay, so work on that. Work on your single stroke stuff. But then at the same time, you're working your diddles, and then work on just playing rolls. Play some roll exercises. Make sure you think about those things as far as like making sure the 2 notes are even, and also bouncing as you get faster and faster, okay? The final hurdle, all right, is flams. Okay, so you need to make sure that first you get good at single stroke stuff, all right, and not single stroke. You get good at one-handed exercises, then work all your stroke types, then you work on your rolls, okay, so work on your diddles, be able to play that, and then you can transition into flams. So now, is it very obvious that flams and diddles are related? No. But let me just break this down for you, right? So real quick, flam axis, right? Check it, the. There's diddles in there, huh? You're probably like, what the heck? What are you talking about? There's diddles in there? Yes. Okay, so check the first flam. Checka. Oh, there's a diddle right there on the left hand. Checka. Right? So there's a diddle. That's why it's so important to get good at diddles before you start playing flams. Here's another. Can't talk. Here's another diddle, right? Checka-ta-ta. Checka-ta-cha. Oh, there it is. Checka-ta-ta. Checka-ta-cha. Okay, there's a diddle right there, right? So, flam accents, in a way, is just a collection of diddles. So, that's why it's so important that you get really good at diddles in order for you to get to the next level, cross that final hurdle, which is flams. And once you get good with flams, then you start learning flam rudiments, hybrids, things like that, flam drags, cheese, all that good stuff, flam taps, and then you just work your way up from there, and then from there on, it's like a whole other universe of just like, all right, now let's take it to the next level. But once you have those 3 basic fundamental steps, like you are really ready to take it to that next level, okay? So, you need to make sure that you get a good grasp on each hurdle, all right? So, past the first hurdle, which is the one-handed stuff, then the rolls and diddles, then finally the flams. Now, you have to be an expert, right? You have to be able to really master each step before you move on to the next one. No, all right, you don't. Just get a really good handle on it. I mean, yes, it is very important to learn how to crawl before you learn how to walk. That's really, really important, all right? So, when they say like, well, don't start playing hard stuff until you get the easy stuff first. Absolutely, I totally believe in that. I totally agree with that. However, all right, if you spend too much time thinking, okay, well, I'm just gonna make sure this thing is perfect before I move on to the next step, you're gonna hold yourself back, all right? Because as you learn, even though you're not that good with a certain level yet, or just let's say you're like pretty good, you can move on to the next level because the things that you learn on the next level will translate to the previous level, right? And I kind of talked about this in the beginning, right? Whereas when you are playing rolls and diddles, go back to one-handed exercises. So if you're working one-handed exercises for AB, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you work on your rolls, then you go back to AB, right? Then your AB exercise is going to be improved because of the things that you're learning while you're playing rolls. Does that make sense, right? So now as you're learning flams, you can go back to, developing your rolls, and they just kind of help each other out, right? Each step helps each other out. So it's really important that you just don't get stuck in one level until it's perfect, right? You need to make sure that you also move on and try to progress even though you don't have everything perfect yet, all right? Because nobody's gonna get good just by being stuck in one place and being like, well, I'm not gonna move on until it's perfect. Like, it doesn't work like that, all right? So make sure there's a healthy balance of making sure you have the easy stuff down before you go on to harder stuff, and at the same time, don't wait until you have something perfect before you try something new, before you try something more advanced. Does that make sense, all right? So, hopefully this video has been helpful to you. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense in terms of just like, the progression you need to make. Remember these 3 steps, all right? So, think about everything I said, and then add that to your development as far as like, add that to whatever you learn from your drum instructors and your teachers and things like that, and then see if you can translate that to an even higher level of proficiency in your drumming game, okay? So cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave that in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, after watching these videos, after all this time, and you say, yeah, I like your videos, Carl, but I'm not gonna subscribe. Come on, man. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And if you think this video could help somebody else out, helps, break things down as far as like what you need to do to get good at drums, this is the secret, all right? This is my top secret stuff. Top 3 steps, all right, to get good at drums. Share this with them, okay? So, that's it. And do me a huge favor as well. Watch these videos here, all right? And subscribe here if you haven't already. Okay, cool, peace out. Catch you later.